Oh, we do? Okay, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I'm glad they joined us.
Yeah, we like I grew up as a Christian, still a Christian today. And,
Hold on, how did you get baptized?
I got baptized. My auntie, A.B.,
which was my mama, by the way,
took me to church and got my life together. You know, got Christ in my life early, and as I grew older, you know, as I became a Christian, I you know, moved through life and run into troubles and run into the system, and you know, when you do wrong, you always result back to your positive way of living. So, and when I was being sentenced to an institution for the wrong I have done, I found myself in the courtroom in a fixture of church. I looked to the left, there were seats full of jurors that were used to be seats when I grew up in church. They were full of choir people that were singing. When I looked over to the right, there was deacons, but they were security guards, polices, sheriffs.
Okay.
There were no ushers. And as I looked to the pulpit, there was a judge. It wasn't a minister. But before him, before God, I would kneel and beg and plead as I would to God, as my Father, as I would to your honor, and ask him for forgiveness as if I'm actually speaking to my Father, which is God, to give me a deal on sentencing me to prison. Can I? Because if God forgive me, I know you somewhere, you know, I figure I can get some forgiveness from this guy that's called the judge.
He was a minister, though. He administered that time.
And yeah, he administered time to me, and he gave it to me at Judgment Day. That was my Judgment Day, and I was sentenced. And I bagged away when I got to where I was going, and I had a long talk. You know, when you get tied up, you have a lot of time to think. And that's what I came up with, is that they have designed something that that's supposed to work for me that doesn't work for me. You know, and the guy that I pray for and kneel to wouldn't have done this to me. And you don't look like him. You don't look like the man that I pray to. But yet I'm looking in front of you and almost kneeling for forgiveness and for a deal on what you're going to send me to prison. So that's why I say that the church, the only thing that's missing is the the American flag in the back of the judge. And those reindeers that sits up, you know, that big badge.
Big on the seal of Michigan.
Yes. And you see that in the back. And then all these things become non-spiritual because you wonder who you pray to if all of this is simulated to God. And it's called a correctional system, a system of justice, and you wonder it's just for who? Because when I looked over to my left, it was people that looked like me that was getting sentenced next. And when I looked over to my right, it was the people that looked like the judge that was chaining us up. Now you tell me who's the Father and who's the God. What do I believe in and where do I go from here? So
13th Amendment.
You know, so me coming from where I come from, being raised and taught about Christian life by my Aunt B, and I symbolized this, and I found out where I got to where I was going, that the change had to come within me. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't allow this man to dictate where I'm going. This man on earth, they call the judge, that's dressed up like a minister in the same robe.
I remember when you came home, Mama was like, Calvin out, you seen Calvin? I said, I ain't seen him yet. She was like, yeah, he didn't change. He ain't the same Calvin. He don't, you know, and man, I tell you, you know,
changed my life.
You actually helped me because, you know, and when I say that, because you was a shining example of what had to take place.
Right.
Which is change.
Right.
And that's one of the things that, you know, a lot of us struggle with, you know, especially when you come back to the same environment, you know, but you like, hold up, man, I got to change because if I keep doing the same thing, I'm going the same way. You know, they ain't closing them prisons down. If it is going to close it down, they're going to open up another bigger one, more bigger, more grander.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So when I seen Cuz start working, he came home, he went to working, his friends, his partners, they you know, he wasn't running with them no more. You know what I'm saying? You know, his circle turned into a period.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, yeah, but yep, I can attest to
we
that.
were going different ways, you know. Sometimes you can buy 500 pair. You rich and you can buy. You wear 600. You own 600 pair of shoes, but you don't know. You can't take a step in the right direction. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of something that we got to be clarified on. The Emancipation Proclamation did not end slavery.
No.
It said slavery does not
Except for the
is ended inside places that we don't control. Abraham Lincoln wrote that, and it's kind of like us telling the Russians, "You got to start giving away free ice cream." The Russians are going to look at us like we're crazy, and that's what the South did. It's like, how can this guy who's not the president of the South tell us what to do anymore? Because we're separated. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment do not end slavery.
Sure don't.
There is a caveat that says you cannot enslave a person unless they have
Committed a crime.
committed a crime.
Yeah.
Now, when we start looking at our legal system and start looking at how it impacts us versus others, you see a continuation of a pattern. And this is what I'm talking about looking at the big picture. Did slavery really end, or did they adjust slavery and change it?
It was
And
adjusted.
what I tell my children is, don't put yourself, or try to avoid putting yourself, because sometimes it's impossible. Do not put yourself in a situation where the man can dictate how you move and where you move. There are already enough rules on us that do that. Don't make it worse, and don't do silly stuff. I got a parking ticket the other day. You want to know what I went and did? I went and paid that thing immediately, because that's how sometimes brothers get hemmed up. Old parking tickets sending you to jail. Something you didn't take care of in your past. You got brothers out there working on, what do you call it? When you get a felony and you get a
Expungement.
Expungement. You
Being
got brothers
exonerated.
working on that. But you got people out there running the streets knowing they got a warrant they can take care of. Knowing they behind on the payment for X, Y, and Z. Knowing they got a ticket that will send them to jail depending on the mood of that officer. And I do not want Sheriff Lobo dictating my future. So I try and advise my kids, take care of stuff. But you know, kids sometimes, some of them,
They hard.
one child got to touch the stove.
When they lock you up, but if you really look at the pattern or the way it go far as the penal system, generally they take you at your most fertile years. You know what I mean? When you're young and you can mass produce these little black children, they take you. And then you go in as a youngster, young man, whatever. You come out an old man. Now you ain't no threat in no type of way. You ain't, your reproductive
Exactly.
system ain't what it was. It ain't as fertile as it was, because they've been feeding you all type of stuff that's gonna make sure that your count is down. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. But it's just, and we have to see things for what it is, and it's cool. Traps gonna be set, but it's up to us to be able to identify the traps and then step around.
That's exactly right. We was forewarned in an early age. My grandmother and them, they from Mississippi, and I was scorned and told about this system, the penal system, before I got exposed to it, because they was used to the system in Mississippi they didn't honor the white man. German shepherds was sick on them, and they was put in a place in color and white spots. So they said to me when they disciplined me, they said, "I'm gonna whoop you for them folks won't have to whoop you and put you in them jails, because my child gonna be obedient." And see, I didn't understand that, so I rebelled that situation. Said, "But just keep living, baby. It's gonna land in your lap if you keep running down this road they call Rome." You hear me?
Yeah,
And-
yes.
And those are the that's what you call when you get to where you're going to, and you get to where place in court, because prison is an isolated situation in jail, and you find yourself back when you was put in the corner, and you have to learn from it.
Yeah.
That's where the rehabilitation
They say
starts.
man finds himself best in his worst condition.
Exactly.
So, we're going to move on to the Flint water crisis, then we're going to read these comments.
Okay.
So we can answer some of them.
Okay.
So, I know you had some strong viewpoints and thoughts on the water crisis, on different things, like why people didn't respond in an aggressive way.
No, that was Brother Brown. I mean,
Well,
you was why people didn't respond in a certain way.
why
and
there
you had
weren't any protests when
and you had certain
Yes.
subjects. So we're going to
when
start.
people were exonerated.
Let's start out with you.
Because I feel like when you're in a fight, if someone punch you in the eye, you punch them back. If someone take from you, you'll do something. You'll stand for something or fall for anything. When someone's giving you something that you refuse to, that you don't want, and that you're being charged for, and it's poisoning your children, when do we fight back? Because if you break in my house, and you come to my house and crawl through my window, I'll defend myself and I attack the burglar. If you come in my yard and take my water hose and steal my water, I'll defend my yard. But you force something on me through my system, through my water system, through my bathtub, that my child is being forced to drink or eat, and then you charge me for it. And I have nothing to say about it. No, when you pass a lick, I'm passing one back.
There's a pattern. They gave Native Americans fire water and dirty blankets, pox-ridden blankets.
Smallpox in them.
Yeah, and what are they doing to us? They're giving us lead water. And they got gentrification coming. Whatever happens, guess what winds up with the land?
It ain't us.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is that anytime this has led to that we have more liquor stores open than we have churches, and we have more liquor stores open than we have schools, elementary schools. And Tupac said years ago, the truth is, if there ain't no future for the youth, then it ain't no future. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to teach the young, then how are we supposed to grow? You know what I'm saying? When you ride down Detroit Street and you see Roy Wilkins, you see these Jefferson School, but Trent Tucker, these basketball greats. You know, this city has produced legends. You know what I'm saying? What can we do? You know what I'm saying? It's not okay to ride past Northwestern and see it closed. It's not okay to ride past Northern to see that it's closed. You know, it's not okay to ride past.
But you done had a mass
education opens up a whole can of worms.
But I'm saying to you is that the people of the community, we got to stand for something, man, or we'll fall for anything. I mean, because if a liquor's already been passed.
Go down there and protest?
Huh?
Why don't you think people went down when they said we dropping the charges? Why didn't people in Flint protest or go down there?
Because they didn't have a leader.
People did go protesting, but it just wasn't in the numbers.
Wasn't televised.
Strength is in numbers. Strength is in numbers. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get America's attention.
It's been a mass exodus of our residents. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you opened up Northwestern, if you opened up Northern, if you opened up Roy, ain't enough people to go to them. There ain't enough kids around here to go to them. All the kids that shot the Grand Blanc.
Only 3,000 kids left in the Flint school district.
You see 3,000. You know,
they didn't bust the Grand Blanc.
They go to Carmen. And everybody they get new stadiums. They get these big grand because of the kids. They excelling in the sports, and so therefore a lot of money is being dumped into those communities. You know what I mean? When
into
they're
those
supposed to be right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, but you still got the people here stuck in a situation that are going to and from and to work and trying to pay the water bill. You know what I'm saying? It's not right for me to go. I mean, it's just like I'm going to the liquor store every day, right at my faucet. You know what I'm saying? And it says harmful as swallow. Why isn't that attached to my sink? You know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely harmful as swallow.
So at this point, 10 years. This is the 10th-year anniversary of that crisis, that disaster, that murder. What is your suggestion that we do? I mean,
my suggestion is we stand our numbers of strength. I suggest that unfortunately, I believe I'm a very radical individual. I believe in fighting the power and fighting the structure, and I feel like if you break out a window or two, if you turn over a car or two, you know, if you do something that grabs America's attention. It seems like when we acting a fool and burning cars and turning over things, it seems like the government pays attention to us. It's been our history.
See, I feel like, and I understand where you come from, but the way I see it, I feel like that's what they want. You know what I mean? To give them
the killers
to gun you down, right? But you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, but the best thing that we can do, man, the best thing we can do is get ourselves together, man. I mean, for real. I mean,
get ourselves.
Like I always say, start with self-respect. That's and then start respecting the people that look just like you. But, I say start there.
We're talking about 10 years of being disrespected by not even getting any kind of compensation or
justice
for
at all.
Being poisoned. The water at that time, at the height of it, was 10 times worse than toxic waste.
Yeah.
So think of a movie, The Toxic Monster.
Yeah.
The toxic monster coming out the river and all. That's a scary monster. 10 times worse than that.
Okay.
And people sitting in office getting paid $100,000 a year to be your mayor, to be a city councilman. These people's other than
they had at that time they had
here's a dirty question.
When they had the people coming in from Lansing, that was actually running the city. What was it called? When they
Obama came here, didn't he? Didn't he? Obama?
no. I'm talking about. It was like the city, like they said, the city is in the
Oversight.
oversight. That's what I'm talking about.
They put
From Lance.
They put a manager or an administrator in. Snyder did that.
They called all
But
the shots here.
Here's a dirty question. Lead is poisonous. It affects the brain. It makes people more violent. It drops intelligence levels.
Facts.
X, Y, and Z. Where are the studies and the reports that are supposed
For
to
the
be
children.
given to us?
From the 10 years later. What them kids?
Every year they're supposed to be doing studies. Let's see. Has violence in the schools increased because of this? Has violence in the streets increased because of this?
Yes, indeed.
Can we blame some of the people that are sitting inside the Hooskow right now? Can we blame some of that on the lead? There are some complicated questions, and nobody's following up with this medical research that's supposed to be done right now. There's the Flint registry, but they're not giving reports out on how people are suffering or how this has changed and impacted Flint, which is scaring the daylights out of me that they're not sharing this information. Somebody has this data.
Yeah, right there in Capitol on
The
Grand
police
River.
know if the numbers have increased. The school district's supposed to know if the numbers have increased for violence or whatever. Where is it? And who should we be asking for it?
Well, I don't believe that any of the information is being hidden. It's just we don't have
Enough people inquiring about it.
It's not being circulated to where it's common knowledge.
Right.
To where everybody understands where to go, how to get.
I've asked board members. I've asked politicians. Nobody has an answer.
So have you been down to City Hall to the front desk and asked them, or called the 411? So those.
Last time I went to go see Neely, he tried to have me arrested.
So we're not gonna make this political.
Right. We ain't gonna blame. We talking about what can be done. Where can you go
I'm saying
to get this information?
So I would say go down to City Hall, and ask the front desk, where can you find this information? If they don't have that information, then there is a problem.
They're gonna send you to the ombudsman that doesn't exist.
What about
But
Lansing?
then that's where you make your recorded or your paper trail stating that you don't
The
have
health
information.
department's supposed to be collecting this data. The school district is supposed to be collecting some of this data.
Well,
And when you ask the school board, they don't know. And when you go to the health department, they look at you like you're crazy.
well, you should go again. So
Document some names or something.
yeah, so you can state it next time on the show on what you did, what you tried, what you learned,
Right.
what didn't work, what worked. Because
I'm gonna leave that for you. I'm gonna leave that for you Flint guys to follow up on.
Oh, you ain't gonna play Flint. You living around here. You up on this podcast. You can go on down there.
I've already made my inquiries and gotten myself
Are
in
you
trouble.
over there drinking that bottled water?
I got myself in trouble. They already doubled my taxes.
You can't come
That's
here.
without
okay.
reason.
No, you can't
You
say.
can't come
you
to Flint,
yeah.
then sit in Flint,
Yeah,
and then
then say you
it's on
from
us.
Flint. No, you here now.
Flint
You here.
Yeah.
You here.
You ain't in Lansing, you ain't in
You-
Detroit,
you-
you in
thank you.
Flint.
Yeah, this is where you at.
You by double
Where?
stack, man.
Yeah, you put your
Where
roots
they
in.
will not allow me a homestead.
Well, look.
Well, no, but you can figure that one out too. We get behind your
I
day. You
mean,
find out
look,
that
you
information.
have a whole.
This town is more about who you know.
Hold up.
Then
Pause,
what you know.
Pause. You have a whole new opportunity with a whole new group of people that don't know you, that are possibly willing to help you get where you need to go. We got over 20,000 people that potentially will watch this, and
I'm telling
and
them
I'm
right now,
saying-
this town is more about who you know than what you know. If you got friends that are Monts, if you got friends that are related to who's ever in office, you could possibly get things done. But even if you know the truth and you know the law, they say forget the truth, forget the law. We gonna do what we want.
and I understand what you're saying, but also it don't. For me,
Obviously, somebody don't know somebody. I mean, it's been 10 years with the same water, brother. I mean, no, there hasn't been. There hasn't been
This stuff,
a physical
You know what?
argument. Nothing. No
Maybe the
furniture's been
media
moving.
is supposed to
Nothing.
be doing this. Maybe the media is supposed to be sharing this information, but they don't share the information that we really need. They share some stuff that'll distract us. Kind of like how you said.
well, right now we are the media, so right now we are sharing this information. So right
Sharing
now,
this
let's.
stuff.
Well, I'm sharing that
let's
there's a
comment.
need for
Thank you.
an audit to be done on the research. Where is that research? Who is following up that research? Are they even doing it? Because it might quite possibly be they said, oh, they poison, forget them. We're not going to study, we're not going to track them, we're not going to see what's happening. And that is what's scaring me, that the school district might not be collecting the data they're supposed to be collecting.
And
And with as many superintendents that y'all have gone through, that might have fallen as one of the responsibilities.
And let me state this: I'm not trying to take away from your trauma and what you've dealt with. All I'm saying is that we have to take the opportunities that we have and try to make those work, because we only got what we got, and the ignorance that we have does not make up for the information that's out there. We have to figure out how to take this ignorance and turn it into
I tried
knowledge.
making an inquiry of Kildee in Kildee's office, and I got to run around. So I don't know. If you can't talk to your council people about it, and they don't know, if you can't talk to your representatives about it, they don't know. I don't know where.
I think they need to find, find the organization itself and put a name on it and get some people in order and get an organization together and get a bus or find a van or something to load 50 to 60 people up to follow. Let's go to Lansing and talk about it. I mean, we got to go with, we can't take care of this. Been at this level, you can't get it done. Why not go to the capital of Michigan? It's Lansing. It's only 60 minutes away. You know what I'm saying? The fight has got to start somewhere. Obviously, it's 10 zip. You know what I'm saying? It's 10 zip.
In the fourth quarter.
In the fourth. You understand what I'm saying, sir?
Right.
It's 10 years you've been drinking this water. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? Tupac said we can knock on the door, we don't get no attention. We can beat on the door, we won't get no. But if we kick it in, now you won't talk to me.
Right. So there is going to be a 10-year anniversary
Of being
commemoration.
You nailed down been this
Yeah. And I'm gonna try to get T-Cell's already interviewed Miss Claire. I'm gonna try to get her to
Who is
come
she?
on. Claire McClinton. She's a water warrior. She's
Okay.
a person that's been consistently. She can answer a lot of the questions
That we have.
that
right.
we have.
Right. We might need to get her up here.
And I'm gonna try to get her on. I've
Have you
asked her.
rolled past the Flint Water Tower?
They say Flint Strong, right?
Hello. Do we have a choice? How strong are we? Are we
They say
strong
you
enough
got some strong water.
Yeah.
Fire, water, land.
You got to be some strong brothers to keep drinking this water and not fight about it.
Is it a felony to use a water gun in Flint? I think you spraying lead.
Yeah.
You silly, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, somebody be mad. Somebody be mad about
You
that.
finally got me to laugh.
no, I'm just saying. And I ride past it and say Flint strong. I'm saying, wow.
You got
You know.
strong to drink this.
All this weight they lifting is the lead. I'm sorry.
Pig iron. Baby's got muscles. You know what I'm talking about?
They leave early and then they come to the streets. What's going on?
Man.
So now I'm about to read some of these comments.
Okay, yeah,
We're
let's
gonna-
get to the
we're
comments.
gonna-
Yeah.
let's get
Let's
down
talk to
here.
the public here. We
Yeah.
got a.
Hour 20.
Yeah.
We got.
That's a good one.
So we got a lot of comments, so we can go up here. So prison is legalized slavery.
Flat out.
I remember when my
That's
paperwork
something man on
said
the chain
United
gang.
States versus
Versus-
Terrence O'Seals. I was like, what the? I
That little
don't-
old me.
I do to piss off the whole country.
The whole it's
Who
all
told
capital
you?
letters.
The Navy, the Army,
Everybody.
the Air Force, Marine, everybody against you.
Yeah.
How you gonna win, brother?
Yeah, and so
That's right, T-Cells.
say
I know the feeling.
the U.S. SEAL a bad MF Bop. Let's see here. Initially, spirituality was based on the just scale. Ironically, the court system uses the
Blindfold.
so-called scale
My
of justice.
Blindfold, she peeking through.
That's Mayat.
So,
That's where we get our angels
42
from also.
declarations of my yacht.
42 negative confessions.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
that's
wow.
where we get our concept of an angel from.
That's
with
where they got the
wings.
10 Commandments derived came from that.
Okay.
Thou shalt not eavesdrop. That's one of them.
Thou shall not intentionally make people cry.
Thou shalt not defile another man's wife.
say in young, out old, wore out.
Flat out. Come out, go in there, join the baby, come out an old man, for real.
Mm-hmm.
They make old men. That's what I said. I said the
think
federal
this lead
government,
thing
they
is
don't
part
do
of a
nothing to make old men.
gentrification thing. Just like you had a disaster down in Louisiana. That town went from 80% black, down to 30%. nice controllable numbers for them. They gentrified New Orleans real quick, and I think that's coming this way too. Pretty soon there'll be a coffee shop on every corner, and
Oh, if you see that bike lane, you know it's on.
and a tanning salon. Well, I actually want to get bike lanes here. That's healthy, and that's something that's
You
going
rode any bike on it?
I think
there is
that,
not one here.
Ain't nobody seeing you on no bike. It is a bike lane right down
So what,
Okay,
what are the viewers
I
saying?
lived in Lansing, and I got a 3-wheel bike,
there. Okay.
and I got me a recumbent bike. So I'm a bike rider.
So going back to it, another one's Rose X Moore said school to prison pipeline develops around 3rd grade, and then it said Willie Lynch syndrome is T cells.
Flat out.
Melissa Zabarski, I got a son, FOIA back, and I got my son's FOIA back, and it doesn't match up, especially with my ring cam. So I know Flint Police isn't being truthful.
The police lie?
FOIA. So I get her
Hold
son's FOIA.
Police lie?
What happened?
Do police lie?
Come on.
I thought you were only allowed to do that on Saturdays.
Adversity.
No, if Jay Hoover tell a lie, the rest of them do what they do.
And so
He was dancing with the
say
stars.
police lie all the time. That part. Depopulation agenda,
Yeah, they did that. Flint don't look nothing like they used to.
killing off a whole generation with lead.
There's a street in Detroit called Grand River.
Real
Runs all the way through the state of Michigan. And when they started depopulating Detroit, you could not cross Grand River. But when you were walking with one of them streets, you had to duck and dodge. Now you can walk back and forth across the street all the time. And I reckon that Saginaw used to be that busy.
Avenue A.
And I reckon there were a whole bunch of other streets that used to be that busy. You guys have the infrastructure problem that you guys have. You have a smaller population.
Hold on, why you keep saying you guys when you live here?
Right.
Yes,
Don't try to disconnect yourself now.
I'm not allowed to get citizenship here because they
Come
won't
on,
let.
citizen, you got it. Say, do your license say Michigan?
It's not
Okay,
like-
well,
I
I
bet you
am
got
not
Flint
allowed
up
to
there.
get a homestead here because of your city assessor, who I've tried to file a complaint against.
You say mine. Hold on.
Because it's just city of
See,
Flint.
hold on, no,
Y'all elected these people. I can't even get up.
Oh, y'all.
You,
Oh,
you
wow.
can vote it. Look at him.
Wow.
He
Oh.
declassified
Who you
himself.
with, Purple Rain?
Hey,
Hey, you guys. Hey, you. No, you here. You right here
I'm
in
here
Flint.
and I'm trying to do stuff.
Right. Well, why
But-
you can't do it when you talking about y'all? When you talking about it's who you know. When
You
say
know what?
Y'all,
I
you
was
separate
trying to
yourself.
do more, and I've stepped back because I literally got left in the middle of the street and can't even file a report about it. I got knocked out at McLaren Hospital, and they left me in the middle of
Who knocked
Ballinger.
you out? Damn. Hold on.
Who knocked you out?
Orderly.
An orderly. You let an
A
orderly
caregiver knocked you out?
I'm sitting in a wheelchair,
Oh, this.
And he snatched the
the
wheelchair
wheelchair,
from-
took it
from
back in.
under me.
Took it back in.
and I wound up with a concussion.
No, I ain't
And
laughing.
left-
at
and
you.
left.
I take that back. I'm not laughing at you, brother. Hold up.
Oh,
you
it's
snatched the
hilarious.
wheelchair and took
I
it
saw
back
the
in the
video.
hospital.
Oh, it's a video?
Yeah, I got
Let me
video
see.
of it.
Pull that up, man. I gotta see that.
I ain't got it online because at first I walk up. VA,
I know that all the viewers want to see.
the VA sent me there. They said go immediately to the emergency room. I go to the emergency room. I don't even make it inside the door when a dog attacks me.
Jeffrey
Now,
Damn,
I
a
be
dog.
down.
Hold on.
Sound like
dog.
Jeffrey Fighter need to see it, huh?
Hold on. He said,
No, I called
dog attacked
Figer.
him.
Figer said
In
if I wasn't a black man, of my
You say
size.
too much, man.
seriously, I called Figer because I tried to call a lawyer in this town. There aren't that many left, and most of them are already on retainer too, McLaren, so they can't do anything. for
Hold
me.
on. So you say you went inside McLaren. They sicked the dog on you inside the hospital.
I'm walking inside the door. The dog jumps up, knocks me down. Jumps up from behind me and knocks me down.
The dog?
You let a dog knock you?
It was a security dog.
Was you picketing?
I'm walking in there because I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
The VA told me go to the emergency room immediately because there was some major stuff going on with me.
Psychotically or what?
I'm talking on the phone to my brother, and I'm carrying my laptop in my other hand. Dog comes up, knocks me down.
Okay.
They throw me on a gurney and take me in the back, and then the same security guard who's supposed to be watching this dog is sitting there for half an hour not doing anything but mean mugging me. When I try and get discharged, you got to have paperwork in order for the VA to pay for it. They refuse to give me any paperwork. I'm like, I need some paperwork to show that I was here, pop, and what I'm supposed to do when I go see my primary doctor.
Right.
I'm sitting there arguing with him about that. This guy yanks a wheelchair from up under me, when I'm trying to talk to the discharge, they're supposed to give you some type of paperwork, some type of discharge. If you have more pain, come back to the emergency room.
Yeah.
Go see your doctor immediately. Something like that.
Discharge instructions.
Exactly. So they yanked the wheelchair from up under me. I hit my head on the floor, wound up with a concussion. Next thing I know, I'm sitting on Ballinger inside of one of their wheelchairs. When I come to, I tried to call the police, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. They about to flip the script on me. Black man goes crazy in hospital or whatever. And
They had you on their mental ward. They shot you
Yeah.
right there early.
Shot you
Put
early
you
on 2.
four.
On
it's
2.
two.
2.
It's 2 now?
Yeah.
Oh, it used to be 4, right? When I was a kid, they
So,
be up on
what
4.
happens after that? Police come. This lady disappears, never comes back and talks to me. She goes and talks to them first, then comes to talk to me, and then she just disappears. I'm sitting there waiting to find out what's going on. I go talk to what's the name, Layton,
Yeah.
the prosecutor,
Prosecutor
David
lady, yeah.
about prosecuting whoever it was that pulled the chair from under me. She said, "Well, you got to get a police report first." I go to the police department, get a police report. Lady didn't fill out a report. I'm trying to chase her down to get a report. She didn't fill out one. So I want to file a complaint against her for not doing a report. And the guy I'm talking to, Detective Scott, sits there and threatens me and says, well, if you file a report against her, we're going to slam this investigation and do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, you realize that's obstruction of justice. He wasn't expecting me to say that. Have that combination of words articulated.
Oh, words is important.
And he was like, what, hubba? He started stuttering.
Yeah.
And then a Detective Brown
Backpedal.
started advising him on what to say. And then all of a sudden, the investigation is complete within 8 hours. I'm talking to this guy at 5 o'clock in the evening. Within 8 hours, he calls, 9 o'clock the next morning, investigation complete, nothing happened.
Wait, how long ago was this?
This was a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I've been trying to, I went to the NAACP
Come on, man. Quit playing.
Bro.
here in Flint.
Bro.
And I went to,
You went to the
a few
who?
other people.
The
As a matter of
NAACP?
fact, I had
Do we
I
got
had-
one? This is a building here for that?
I had the president of Black Lives Matter on the phone with me
You play too much.
when I was talking to the police officer.
You play too much. Which made you call them?
Because I'm,
But you hadn't been
I'm
shot.
a black man.
Only
I'm
time
a
Black
black
Lives
man
Matter
sitting
when
You
you
gotta
get
get
killed.
choked out. They didn't choke you out. Now they didn't choke you out. You might have got a little action.
I'm a black man sitting outside of a hospital with a whole bunch of white people that's going to say one thing, I'm going to say another thing. And I'm like, I probably want to have a witness on my side sitting here about what I said and what I
I'm
did
sure it
and
might
whatnot.
have been somebody white that would have told the truth.
Might have been. Have they yet? This
mean,
went on 2
no.
years ago. I filed a complaint with McLaren. McLaren ain't spoke to me. Ain't sent no investigation back, nothing. They even filed a civil rights complaint. They saw the videos. This is a different world we live
You got the video?
Yeah, I want to
not
see
on
that
me.
video. All right.
I got it on my computer at
Hey,
home.
Well, next time he up here, y'all,
Yeah, we
we're going to
wanna-
see this video.
we're gonna get this
is
ball
what we-
rolling for you,
we're gonna
brother.
see this video because somebody that's watching going to be able to help you because somebody knows
You
something.
know what? The attorney, nope, I'm not going to make a general blanket statement about attorneys in this town or anywhere else. But I'm trying to learn to let stuff go because if you let that stuff fester inside of you, it'll cause cancer and sickness and just, because this was boiling me for 2 years. I'm just like, woosah, let it go, keep it pushing. Keep your mission up.
So what do you
Really
suggest to
young.
happen to you? What do you?
I know that people have been treated worse in the
What we
past.
going to do? Okay, let's get back to these. All right.
Well, yeah, we 'cause I ain't jump topic.
Yeah, but I ain't going to, but we ain't gonna veer off the
Yeah,
road.
I
like
mean,
that.
it sounds
No,
funny.
no,
Y'all
no,
y'all
I was just
having
making
a
a
good
little
time
joke.
with
I'm not
funny at
saying
all.
it. No,
But
we don't think
that's why I
funny.
feel
I ain't laughing
alienated
at you.
from
I ain't
Flint
laughing at
because even when I tried to get my taxes right, I moved to this town, bought me a house, and I try and get what's called a homestead. That's when your tax rate goes down because you are living inside the
you
house.
actually live there.
Landlords pay at a different rate. I'm paying the landlord rate
Right.
because the city assessor doesn't want to give me a homestead.
Is your address here?
The address, the address is here. I'm just telling you, here in Flint, people do what they want to do, and sometimes you can just see corruption dead in front of your face. And when I went to complain, even at the state level, it's like we ain't touching Flint. And I think a lot of people are scared to touch Flint, from the FBI to attorneys to everything else, because they know it's a different set of rules going on here for some reason. For some reason or other, all the rules don't apply like they're supposed to.
So what have you done about that to fight?
I tried to apply for a farmstead instead, because I got 8 acres. I'm feeding the neighborhood. I got greenhouses. I got hundreds of fruit trees I've planted. she won't let me get a farmstead either. Because me and her got into it, and she just
So how often is this? How often is
Stacy Kaka
No,
or
I'm asking, how
Kake or
often
whatever.
Is that an elected office? Is that elected?
I don't know.
office?
I don't know how the assessor is picked here. You have a city assessor. Probably she gets put in office. She was missing in action when I first tried to meet with her. Supposedly because of COVID, she was missing for 2 or 3 months. And when I tried to meet with her, she said, "You don't need to meet with me. You're all good." And then a week or two later, she says, "Nope, we're revoking your homestead and whatever." So I said, "All right, well, let's go around the other way, and I'll apply for a farmstead instead." And she refused that. And part of the problem was they double taxed me a few times because I buy property from the land bank and amalgamate it with mine. And when you amalgamate, you're supposed to get one tax bill. For some reason, they decided not to process my paperwork for 2 years. So I have to go back and pay back taxes. They were about to grab my property back for failure to pay taxes. I'm assuming I only got one tax bill because I got the paperwork to show that I brought all this property together. But nobody processed it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it was a mistake. COVID was going on. People were doing this, that, and other thing. Let me go help them clarify this. At the county level, because once your city taxes become delinquent, they go to the county. At the county level, they looked at it like, ugh. And they understood exactly what I was saying. I tried to explain it to the city. It's like, so, we ain't changing that.
You never filed a motion in the courts?
If I can't get a lawyer,
You could be your rep. You can represent yourself.
I am rather articulate, and I think I'm fairly intelligent. I've started my doctoral work and all this other stuff, but I am too smart to be my own attorney.
Well,
And I know that I will mess up.
Are you too smart to have any of this in writing and to move forward to the next level? You're not being
Sometimes,
persistent about pursuing what you want. You're taking what they give you at the window and you're
trust
walking
me, I
away.
am very
Persistent.
I started the community center in Lansing. They told me I couldn't. That community center ran for 15 years without funding. I'm very persistent and very clever at about getting things done. I worked as a school teacher for over 20 years. I know how to work around this, that, and other thing. Flint is a different place, and my strategies don't work here. The same strategies that allow me to open up community centers in other places don't work here. So I know that I have to change, and this is what everybody has to examine. Sometimes you got to say, is this fight worth my health? Yeah. The number one killer of black men is not black men.
Stress.
Bam.
There you go.
Not white
So
men.
we ain't gonna make this a stressful situation. We gonna change the channel on that.
So, yeah, so let's break some more information next week on it.
Yeah.
Right.
And see if we get any people
Yeah,
that
yeah,
reach out and
somebody
say something, or
Might
you know,
see this and be able to give you some
don't know.
information.
Right.
But
some viewers
I'm
might
like
be
this.
some pointers.
I'm not into your story is your story,
Mhm.
and
Everybody got a story.
I was around you for a significant amount of this stuff, and it's unfortunate because I have a similar story. I ain't gonna get into it, but I
This-
lost a lot.
The city is weird.
and-
The land bank cut down my trees, and they told me they wouldn't no pay me for
We're
it.
gonna transition. We're gonna transition into
Okay.
the rest of these
Yeah,
statements.
My apologies.
Yeah.
I
No
got-
problem. No,
we
you
let
good,
you get,
bro.
we let you get off on your
we
square,
appreciate
right?
we appreciate you.
You
know,
got some of
sharing
it
that
off your
with us.
chest, right? And so we see what happens.
Yeah. You never know what this
So
might do for
look at these schools catching on fire. Northern was just on fire yesterday.
Yeah, that was new.
Grand Blank,
Yeah.
Davison. Imagine if they made the north or east side green. I don't know, GRE.
When we had the school board member here, she was talking about the schools. They have a fear that these schools are going to get taken over by charter schools, which would be competition to Flint. I said they should give these neighborhood schools to the neighbors in that neighborhood. Let the neighbors in the neighborhood turn them into community centers, micro farms, because you got at least 5 acres of land. These buildings could be used and put to use for some good purpose, besides just sitting there as empty holes.
Yeah, I want to buy one of them. I'm interested in them.
They scared you're going to sell it to a charter school.
Well, the city is trying to maintain its property, at least the property, because if they sell this stuff, then that's when you become rezoned. If you get rid of certain assets, then you can become rezoned. They can shrink you. So one conversation that I heard before is that they want to rezone Flint to make it more part of Mount Morris and Burton and the areas around it. Because right now we're the city, we're the county chair, we're the county seat. You have to do all your business in the city of Flint. But if they are able to rezone it, and then say, for instance, this area downtown becomes part of, say, Burton or Grand Blanc or something like that, then they get to rezone and say that they're the county seat. So I'm not sure how all that works, and maybe somebody can come down and
It's
explain
local
it to us.
politics.
But I'm saying that from what I heard, that Beecher's supposed to become a Arab community.
A what?
Yeah.
Never.
Nah, it ain't no never. This is what, when I moved back in 2014, and I was going to these different meetings and learning, relearning about Flint.
There are more Middle Easterners living in the Detroit area and this whole
And
vicinity.
Michigan has the largest.
I know
Then
probably-
in the Middle East.
Dearborn. I know.
We
that.
know
no,
Dearborn,
more here
Farmington.
than
But
the
hold
Middle
on, but hold on. When you say, hold on, let me say, when you say Beecher, that's a whole different animal. Man, you got generations upon generations of people that will not leave.
It's
Their
called
roots is planted. I know
gentrification.
gentrification,
It's called
but they had to do something to drive them out of there because they ain't going nowhere.
We used to have 100,000+ people, almost 200,000 people in Flint.
Yeah, but
There used to be a
but that's-
town in
that's
Detroit
some,
called
you know,
Pole Town,
that's-
right next to
That's
Hamtramck.
some. Well, I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime.
So somebody
for real.
fact check me on it. Somebody called me out on it, because I'm saying this is what I heard.
Yeah.
This is what I heard. So
I
The
just
beach is
can't
supposed to
see
be
it. I mean,
turned
it's
into it's moving, changing into an Arab community.
part of the reason for this is
They done bought the
what I
stores, now
was
they getting beach.
understanding. Nah, I
They
ain't
got a
saying-
few stores. Steve them ain't taking over like that. Steve them
Nah,
ain't finna come down. Johnny's ain't coming to take a Beecher over, man. They, straight
Those-
up.
You talking about stores? We talking about community.
No, I
Black
understand.
People that,
I understand.
that are putting millions and are contractors and figuring out how to get the Sylvester Broom Center and so on and such, and things like that. Things that we not paying attention to because we still doing corner store moves. We doing hand to hand, and they moving weight when it comes to creating city.
They making
opportunities.
power moves.
Yes.
Look how they gentrified
I mean, I believe that,
Detroit,
but I can
and
see
that
it
same
happening.
plan's coming here.
I can see that happening more so in Flint
Yeah.
than Beecher.
Downtown
For me,
Flint.
I mean, I'm saying just for me.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you already had the mass exodus of the residents of Flint.
The white folks, white flight.
No, I'm talking about the black people. We ain't deep in here like we used to be. Growing up, man, I've been here all my life. I mean, you know what I'm saying, for real. So when Kresge's was open,
You know the
Hello?
gerrymandering already happened, so
Huh?
they rezoned or resized Eric Mays'
district.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they.
I used to be in the
Those
second
are
ward.
things that
Now I'm in the
help those
first
things
ward.
happen. So when you don't understand that, and you don't understand that the first ward changed the shape, size, and density, then then we can't see that may affect how Mount Morris Beecher is affected. We don't see how, because it's all interconnected. It's not we are in a county. So in this county, things can happen within the county. We got cities, townships, and all these different things, but they know how to maneuver in these yellow ribbon or these
Yeah,
blue ribbon
I
conversations.
can't say what somebody gonna do with their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, but I'm trying to get.
But the Beecher, I
Actually
just
applying to
can't
get
wrap
on the Beecher County Commission out there. I need to figure out, find out what's going on
Yeah,
myself.
so fact check me. Tell me I'm a liar.
No,
my- No, but
I'm
you
saying- I'm
may
just
just
saying,
heard something before we heard
I
it.
want
That's
people
all.
to come back with information.
Right,
I'm
right.
not
Right.
scared of
Right.
the words. I'm saying
Right.
my thing is the fear that ain't nobody gonna help me find out more information or get on the right track to make sure that I'm talking right.
Yeah.
And then we wake up and guess what? We trying to figure out how not to get a ticket walking across the street. And everybody else comfortable. And nobody care about 10, 15, 20 years ago, who you was, what we did, what your family owned. It don't matter because it look completely different.
That's true, but like he did say, there's generations of people that's been out there in Beecher.
Yeah.
That's a different animal to me.
And,
Right,
and-
what I
and-
do.
and if some of those people that have been out there for generations don't get into politics, so what? Y'all hit. Them generations just gonna get gentrified out. Y'all gonna be used to bees. And it ain't gonna me. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the system. Get mad at how politics work. Get mad at how
There's this thing called
doing
eminent
laws
domain.
and
Yeah, I know about eminent
legislation.
Scary.
Get mad at not understanding how to.
We don't want to get mad. We
municipalities
want
work.
to do something about it.
Get mad and do something about it.
Yeah. We want to get into it. Matter of fact, I don't
Well,
work
whenever we create our
tomorrow.
own towns,
I'm going
they
and knocking on
destroy
some
them for
doors
us.
tomorrow.
Okay,
They
then.
destroy our Rosewoods and they destroy our Tulsas. They destroy our towns.
It was that joint,
Whenever we
the one,
create
the
our
one I used to go, that I go to, they having something up there this year. What's that joint called? Idlewild.
Mm-hmm.
What that's that?
It's up north a little bit up.
So
You
Idlewild.
been up there lately?
Yeah, I've been up
Oh,
there.
Ottawa?
Yeah, I went up
It
there,
ain't-
man.
it ain't glorious like it
no,
used
I
to
went
be.
up there. I know. I went up there for a few years. We was going. They having something up there this year.
Okay.
You know, my wife was telling me about it. But I've been up there for a couple years back to back, and I had a little experience with one of them a person from a different race at the hotel. You know what I mean? They tried to just I cussed dog out. Then I even
We need to start reinvesting in places like Idlewild.
yeah. I mean for real.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so
Okay, what we got going?
these white people playing chess, not checkers.
Right.
10 years
Facts.
is too long since we've been at 90% since 2019. I'm not sure what the 90% part is,
Right.
Melissa. 10 years drinking bottled water. My son, Van, never
Big-
drank from
who was
the
that?
water
Who
hose
said that?
or sink. So T. Sale said 10
And
years.
we
is-
still drinking
Yeah.
bottled water.
he
for
said
the camera.
his son ain't never drank from
Put that
But it's
bottled
not
water
from
on.
the
Nestle.
sink or the hose. Is that, and then they was talking about city manager, emergency manager. Okay, and then
Yeah.
Rose X was like separation is the only answer. The system is doing exactly what it's designed to do. As long as we refuse to leave our masters, we will continue to be treated like we are. Cancer running rapid through Flint and T cells. Melissa, our current administration is about photos, not nothing for the residents, but downtown.
Wow.
Our administration exploitative.
Who was that? Who said that? Who said that about?
Melissa said that
Okay,
about
Melissa.
our administration.
Yeah, I can see that.
And we got a bunch of expletives about the administration. Melissa said, "Yeah, God keep me here for a reason. God kept me here for a reason." Melissa, that part, the governor doesn't care. She's part of it. Says Melissa. Yes, Miss Claire will chime in. So they saying we can get Miss Claire. So T Cell's gonna get on Miss Claire
Okay,
to
cool.
come down so we can get some
T
answers.
Sales is interacting with us. That's a beautiful thing, brother. I
For sure.
appreciate
He
that.
gonna
for
chop
real.
this up and have all
Straight
kinds
up.
of
He gonna
little
have some
clips and everything.
yeah.
Well, it sounds like we need to
You
meet
might
this
go
brother.
viral.
No,
You
yeah,
get
this
over
brother
there.
Junior
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Washington from the book.
Is it?
He grew up with me in the villa.
Yeah.
He
What?
told me, he said, "Man, yeah, I remember when you had that townie." I said, "Hold on, he know me."
Oh, that Tommy?
Yeah, my
Oh,
townie. He
God,
said,
I'm gonna
"Man,
get
I
killed
remember
with that
you,
townie."
we was in Park Villa and you had the townie, and Bo had his townie, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know me for
Yeah,
real."
that was your first
He called
Cadillac.
in. Yeah, you better know it. Yes, sir.
So let's finish them up. So
Okay.
tell the current administration
My man.
to use the ARPA money like it should. We don't have enough police here, Melissa.
No, we don't.
Melissa, again,
No.
you could have asked for what? I'm not sure what you were saying, Melissa. You could have asked for camera. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's off camera or for camera. It says for camera, but I don't remember what we were speaking about. I think NAACP is a joke in Flint.
Yep.
Says T Sales.
I agree.
It says the same thing about
T Sales, we got to get you up here, man. Go ahead.
Man, I tried to get him up. Maybe
I'm gonna
you
see if I can
up.
get him up here next week. I'm just gonna ask. You know what I mean,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
real.
yeah.
Cause he got some valid points. You know what I mean. He need to be at the round table as well.
Say Melissa says my son is biracial and get a few behind me, and I'm grateful.
I am Teresha Simone, and
I'm mentoring on Wednesday, so I won't be able to be there.
Rose X, the NAACP stood up for us in the 1950s and 60s. Now the only stand for Freedom Fund dinner. Okay, that's
Yeah.
Melissa. That's Rose X. Please show up for council meetings. That's Melissa. Words are heard in person than not. I guess words are heard in person. So when you go in person, they hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I actually went in front of the city council to complain about some of this stuff. Nothing happened.
like you say, Flint is a different beast, and in order to move Flint, you
Yeah,
cannot.
but we got to keep coming though. We got to keep.
you
Gotta
got
get
to.
some new blood. some new
Squeaky's,
energy.
Squeaky's wheel get the most
Flint,
attention.
Yeah, that's what I'm
you
saying. We
gotta
got to
dig
keep
a
going.
hole.
Sometimes Squeaky's will get
You
replaced.
you got to do a
I
lot.
mean, well, that's what it come with it.
Yeah, we're not afraid of that though.
Right. You can't be afraid that you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, this ain't no. This,
I've
it's a whole different beast here.
Right.
You know, that's why when we go other places, people don't understand how to break us because we can't be broken. Because here's, look, hey, words are heard in person. Northwestern actually sit in Mount Morris Township, Bucktown for life. This is all T cells.
Okay, let's see.
Uh,
No, hey,
Beecher
it's
is,
in our water.
Beecher is a community.
Make good Kool-Aid.
He said, "Hell no, Beecher gonna always be the buck."
Yeah, I'm telling you guys. That's what I say. I've been gone and came back and it's still.
He said, "Tornado
The
chased
buck.
all the white people out of Beecher."
Yeah, it did.
He ain't lying.
He said, the landscape of Beecher,
Nothing like Dorothy Hutt.
the landscape of Beecher
1953.
looked
Yeah.
way
Might have
different
been
from
52.
30,
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Didn't it go up Coldwater Road? No.
Came down cold water.
Came down Coldwater.
Straighten it out.
Yeah.
He said, Idlewild right by Baldwin, Michigan.
Hey, they got something up there at Iowa this year. I don't know. It's gonna be this spring, this summer or something. They have a nice little thing. I went up there and had seen Zap. You know
Blessing.
what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Zap? Okay.
Yeah, it was
I think
nice.
he said,
man.
blessing of the bikes.
Matter of fact, hold on. Martin Banks was telling me we supposed to go up to Idlewild this year. Me, him,
Okay.
Darren Ashburn, and,
Okay.
and Mark Boxley. Yeah, we all supposed to take our.
I ain't
wives
seen
and stuff.
Darren. Wow.
Yeah. He trucking.
You
Oh,
got
okay.
both
Good
the
dude.
brothers, right? Sheldon and Martin.
Yeah.
I was supposed to-
I know. I can call him.
I was supposed to interview them a couple times.
I'll
You
get
them
Martin
in,
up here.
'cause I got
Or
both their
Shelton,
numbers.
whichever one.
Both
Yeah.
because I told them I'd interview both of them together.
No, you can one at a time. They two different individuals.
I get it. I didn't interview Martin.
Okay.
But I want to get them both and individual.
Okay.
So I want.
I see what I can do to help you.
Yeah,
on that.
and I.
Oh yeah, you should be able to get that done.
Yeah.
I just.
They very approachable, cool
Right,
people.
right,
yeah.
yeah. They've always been down
I got
to
their
earth.
numbers and everything.
They always been down to
Locked
earth.
up, and they pick up when I call. It said it was pertaining the hospital, the Flint After Dark podcast. Somewhat knows me. We never met in person. Okay, that was the last one. We got you, Melissa. We heard you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end it out.
Yeah, so this has been another segment with Lessons with Larry. And we're gonna get back here next week, 6:30, you know what I mean, and cover some more topics live and hopefully get spark some good dialogue. And I'd like to see is any rest of the gentlemen would like to say, starting with you, Mr. Brown.
I think that the example made by Mr. Cole is an example that all our people should follow. An apology is not demeaning or belittling to the person that gives the apology. And sometimes, brother, I apologize for stepping on your shoe.
Yes, sir. And I apologize for stepping on you. I mean, it's okay to apologize. That's part
That
of being
don't make you
civilized.
less of a man.
That's part of being civilized and owning up to your own bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Owning up to your own. You know when you're right, you know when you're wrong.
Right,
And
right,
some
right.
people would rather go down a one-way street and GPS say go this way and you're going to go the other way and then you're going to keep going instead of turning around and coming back because you know you have made the wrong turn. So you know what I mean? Apology is something that we really need to do and check yourself so ain't nobody else got to check you.
True story.
A lot of beefs would have been squelched very quickly
Right.
with a simple apology.
My man. Cal, what you know?
I've enjoyed this podcast and been able to speak my mind, and I'm always available if you guys want to have me back.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Look me up.
Yeah.
I'm always ready to march, fight,
Yep.
stand for something.
That's right.
Let's go downtown right now and protest this.
It's
war.
too late, man. It's too late. They going home now.
Just know, brother, I'm ready. I stay ready now.
That's right.
Yeah, I stay ready.
That's
so
right.
I'm for whatever whenever you guys are ready to do something on feet outside of the podcast, I'm with you.
Okay, flat
You
out.
know, you got a brother that's gonna ride with you to the end.
That's right. No,
So
brother
just know
Grant.
that.
Well, I appreciate another dynamic conversation with you, gentlemen. We need to make sure that we bring more in-depth information to where we can direct people as us being men and us being natural leaders, that we can lead people to the information and make sure that they don't just have a longing and a thirst, but they have a fulfillment and that hunger is full.
Somewhere they could tap into and get their food, get their issue,
because
get the nourishment.
Out of the mud ain't going nowhere.
That's right. And neither is lessons with Larry.
Exactly.
And I want to send a special shout out to T Sales, and I want to send a special shout out to Melissa, because you show up, you come to the podcast, and we appreciate you. We definitely appreciate your opinion and your views, and everyone else that took the time to join in on the conversation and send their words.
All right. My last thing is give a shout out to T Sales again, and to James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah,
the other half of Out of the Mud.
That's right. Lessons with Larry. We out.